I am not the doctor of your brain, but I am the doctor of your mind. I want to ask you, what do you think is the most important emotion in this world?
I think happiness.
Yes, beautiful answer. Happiness is the most important emotion in this world, but unfortunately, it's a wrong answer.
They talk more about anxiety. They talk more about burnout. And now the Gen Z is talking more about, coping up with the overthinking.
I ask my people, are they stressed? And everybody will raise their hand, yes, we also have stress. And then I tell them, there is nothing in this world called as stress. It is all our reactions to the situations. So AI is gonna create more awareness if the technology is used rightly.
Right.
So it will help in promotion also, it will help in prevention also.
Hello and welcome to Health DNA. Today, we will dive deep into the conversations that are shaping today's generation. I'm your host, Abhishek Singh, and today we are tackling one of the most pressing issues of our time, that is mental health among Gen Z. With social pressure, academic stress, and a constantly changing world, young people are facing challenges unlike any before. And to help us decode this landscape, we are joined by Dr. Sankalp Jain, consultant psychiatrist at Sir Ganga Ram Hospital and mental health expert who has worked extensively with young adults and adolescents. And today, we will explore how Gen Z perceives mental well-being and what are the warning signs to look out for and the small changes that can make a huge difference in everyday life. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you so much.
Sir, what is mental health? Is it related to your brain? Is it related to your overall health?
See, you have put up a very amazing question today which needs a right answer rather than an ambiguous answer available everywhere. First, you have to understand who is a psychiatrist. So, psychiatrist is not the doctor of your brain, but he is the doctor of your mind. So, for a simple example, let's say you have a switch and you turn it on and you see the fan is moving. The fan today is moving at a one regulator, it is moving very fast. At 5, it is moving very slow, and today it is making some noise. So what will you say? That the voltage is high, the voltage is low, and the inverter is there.
Yeah.
Right. So did you see the electricity?
No.
But without seeing the electricity, only by observing the behavior of the fan, you were able to tell me the very nature of electricity, whether it's high voltage, low voltage, or inverter electricity.
Right.
Right. In the same way, I am not the doctor of your brain, but I am the doctor of your mind.
Wow.
I can't see your mind, but I can surely evaluate your behavior to retrospectively understand the nature of your mind. So technically, I am the doctor of the software of your body, and rest of them are the doctors of the hardware of your body.
Right. I get it now. I think this was the most important point right now, because when we start, we need to clear some of our basics, and the difference between the mind and the brain, I think a lot of people are sorted now with that thing.
And definitely there is an interaction of a hardware-software interface.
Right.
Definitely, if the software is overloaded, there will be implications in your entire hardware.
Right.
If there is one virus, your CPU will become warm. It will overwork. It will stress the wires. It will stress the system. Isn't it? To take it more further, to understand the working of your mental health, I'll add one more layer for your understanding and for the understanding of our viewers, that if somebody is having mental health issues, or if there is some locha in their software, or if there's some problem in their software, there are 3 paradigms to understand. Whether one's biology is supportive, or one's biology is adding a role to add a burden to the mental health crisis. For example, whether somebody has thyroid, whether they have obesity, whether they have nutritional deficiencies, whether they have a hereditary problem of having a mental health problems, whether they are taking alcohol, whether they are taking cannabis, right?
Yeah.
And there are other different biological factors that may be adding to your altered homeostasis of the chemical that is adding role to play in your depression.
Right.
The second comes is your psychology, or what is the way you perceive or process the information that you have. You must have met many people who have a very happy-go-lucky personality. You
Right.
criticize them, they won't pay much attention. Then there are people who are very sensitive to criticism. If you
Exactly.
say anything, they will become hyper-conscious and they will keep ruminating, think about it.
Yeah.
So I say this in a different way. A person with hammer will see every problem as a nail,
Right.
because they don't have a spectrum of armamentarium to deal with their day-to-day problems and to mitigate their day-to-day problems. They lack an inherent art of switching from a needle to a sword. What needle can do, sword cannot achieve. What sword can do, a needle cannot achieve. And in the between, there is a spectrum. I ask you to cut a mango, you will keep using hammer to cut a mango. I'll ask you to dig a hole, you will keep using hammer to dig a hole. And eventually, you will be frustrated and you
Right.
will be burnt out thinking, I am doing my best, but there is no response of my effort. Why? Because the person may not realize that their efforts, their tools are not adequate or inadequate with the given environment they are dealing with. So
Right.
one is your biology, the second is your psychology, and the third plays the most important role as well, that is sociology. As in your social environment, your family environment, and in today the social media environment also plays an equal role to add burden to or relieve the burden of your mental health.
Right.
Right? I have met so many children who are having mental health crisis, and when I dig deep in their history, I will realize the family structure is broken. There is constant feud in the families. The mother and father are fighting. There is some kalesh, there is some stigma, there is some fight constantly happening in the family. Parents are overly critical about the child's. So the mental health evolution doesn't happen in a healthy way. The coping doesn't happen in a healthy way, and therefore it all the trifecta brings result to mental health. Origin can be anywhere,
Right.
but it will eventually infect all the three things. Like fan has 3 blades, but when it moves, you are only able to see the center.
Yeah.
But all these 3 are working in conjunction and in amalgamation. I hope that gives a very good clarity to our viewers and you to
Really.
understand the fundamentals of mental health.
Exactly. I think this was the most important thing to talk about, because when we are talking about a problem, we need to know the root of it.
Yes.
This is the root of it, the trifactor, all of these things, when they combine together, or as you said, the root can be anywhere. But in order to, cure the thing, we need to understand from where the problem has started.
Yes.
Doctor, another question is regarding the Gen Z. How do you see the mental health landscape evolving among Gen Z and as compared to the millennials and the older generations?
See, today I have been able to explain you in a very clear understanding a software hardware integration, and today's generation is very much aware about it. Whereas the older generation had a very concrete mindset that everything is about hardware, the software will take its own course and it will eventually evolve.
Right. They were
Right.
more about physical workout and less about the internal workout.
Exactly. So we live in a information flooded environment today. The same thing which I wanted to know the information about, you had to earlier access a library, but today everything is at your fingertips. Therefore, information has brought extra awareness as well for a Gen Z to know what kind of problem they might themselves be in, isn't it?
Right.
So definitely the mental health landscape, not only mental health, entire health landscape has even changed. And not to go further, Just 5 years ago, my interaction of patients were very different, and today my interaction of patients are very different because of the advent of large language models and AI like ChatGPT. So my work has been, at least I take it in a positive way, my work has reduced because now my patient is more aware of what is being given to them, why it is being given to them, and how the process doctor is following. They're able to cross check with it.
Right.
So in coming 3 years, I think the landscape will drastically change as well, where the AI will be helping you to make a diagnosis. They will diagnose, you just have to take supervision of a doctor.
Right.
So landscape has been ever changing, and with the advent of AI, the mental health landscape is changing at a rapid pace.
Do you think it will get better or it will get worse in next 5 years about all the mental well-being thing, all the stress and anxiety thing? It will increase or it will decrease in next 5 years?
See, it has to increase because scalability is one of the most important factor that AI is looking into. See, you have to understand one thing. Mental health operates at 3 level, or the entire health spectrum operate at 3 level: promotion of health, prevention of ill health, and treatment of illness.
Okay. Promotion of health,
Promotion, prevention, and treatment
of the illness that is going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So from here you have to understand, how is technology able to help us? It has to help at a level of promotion of health. However, everything has two
Coin has two
edges,
faces. Yeah.
right? It's a dual-edged sword.
Exactly.
So technology also begets problem which are technology related problem,
Right.
but it is also a solution where promotion of health can also be achieved.
You mean to say that there will be more awareness about a health problem or an underlying
Of
problem,
course,
because
of
people
course.
would be able to understand the symptoms and they can kind of judge it from their symptoms and search it on the AI and judge for themselves.
Now AI is smart enough to recommend that you need a
Psychiatrist, a
psychiatrist or a mental health professional or even a physician for whatever symptoms that you tell them.
Okay.
Right. So AI is gonna create more awareness if the technology is used rightly.
Right.
So it will help in promotion also, it will help in prevention also, and it will aid doctors, right, in formulating complex treatment plans
Right.
and sorting an information that can be provided with the patients as well.
Doctor, I think there is one more thing, that the generation is more aware. They talk more about anxiety, they talk more about burnout, and now the Gen Z is talking more about coping up with the overthinking and stress related things. Is there any example or is there anything that you want to suggest to these people?
See, I'll tell you a beautiful thing. When I take my corporate seminars, I often ask, what is stress? What is stress? Or I ask my people, are they stressed? And everybody will raise their hand, yes, we also have stress. And then I tell them, there is nothing in this world called as stress. It is all our reactions to the situations.
Right.
So I had a corporate client, and two of them were the two employees of them had a very bitter feud because they were not satisfied with their work. So the HR manager reached out to me, ki doc, this is the problem. When I evaluated both of them, one turned out to be a very introverted personality, one turned out to be an extroverted personality. I just switched their role. One wanted to be in public office, one wanted to be in front of the screen. However, they were assumed the opposite roles.
way.
I reversed the role and they were happy again.
Right.
So situation never changed, situation remains same. How our reaction is to the situation determines whether it will create stress or it will reduce the stress. You getting my point?
Yeah. So how we react to any situation, it determines this stress.
And as I previously said, reaction depends upon the coping mechanisms that you have.
Right.
So the coping armamentarium, if it is only just few weapons you have, few cognitive styles you have, so it is just very few. You have limited resource to, you know, to deal with your problems, to engage with your problems. And the more the wide spectrum problems you have, more wide spectrum armamentarium you have, more efficiently you are able to deal with your problems.
This is where my next question would be, what do we need in our armatorium? What weapons do we need? And how can we get those weapons?
See, beautifully put, and I'll tell you about it. So the evolution of armamentarium happens from the very beginning of the childhood. So earlier we used to have a very strong social fabric, you know, we used to go outside home, we used to play, we used to have fights with our friends, we used to fall down, we used to stand up, we would, you know, put off the dust and we will continue with our day. But now the environment have changed. The children, when they fall, there are 5 people to pick them up. See, the restriction of armamentarium happens from the very moment a child falls, because 5 people are there to pick him up. He falls again, then another 5 people are there to pick him up. So what happens is, over a period of time, he learns that if I fall, there are 5 people to pick me up.
Yes, there will be someone to pick me up. So I don't have to, you know, fight.
So
and,
he doesn't find ways to know that I have to stand up on my own. And when this goes into adulthood, the person is a dependent person. And he doesn't know how to fight the situation, how to get out of that problem.
And this thing is actually happening a lot more now. Because while you were talking about the millennials also, like there was a time when the era was different. Now the era is different. Now people have more wealth, and people, you know, they want to take care of their kids very, you know, they want to nurture them. They are very sensitive. And now the parents think that they are there for their kids, and they do not want to, you know, do not want their kids to face any problems at any certain age. See, that is the problem, I think.
You are very right, but the perspective has shifted. I remember an interview of a celebrity where they asked the celebrity person, why did you become, or how did you become so successful in life? So the celebrity answers, I have never strived to be successful in life. I was just extremely fearful never to fail in my life. So your upbringing, my upbringing, the 90s people, 80s people, our upbringing was in a resource scarred environment, right?
Resource scarred environment.
Yes.
We did
our,
not have the
our
exact
needs were fulfilled.
Yeah.
We have to take extra effort for our wants to be fulfilled.
Right.
However, now today's generation is in a resource abundant environment where the needs and the line between needs and wants are extremely blurred. So a child feels that a certain expensive thing is his need. So he starts finding his ego to be satisfied, or his happiness to be satisfied by the items of pleasure. So the pleasure principle and happiness principle has also blurred, and there is a lot of gray area. So the one is need and wants, the other is happiness and pleasure, and both has amalgamated and created a chaos. If you revert back to your childhood, things were far sorted.
I think yes, things were far sorted than the time that we have right now, and the kids are also, you know, the attention deficiency and the social media. My next question was there only, doctor. How do these Gen Z kids, the habits that they have, the constant notification habits, the social media validation, and the FOMOs that they have, how is it affecting the Gen Z's emotional health, and what is the piece of advice that you would want to give to these people?
So, I want to put it like this. I don't know. I know that I don't know. That is awareness. I don't know that I don't know. That is ignorance or stupidity or arrogance. So the first and the foremost aspect is to become aware that whatever is going around is definitely just labile in their tendencies, or ephemeral in their tendencies, or very short lived in their tendencies, right? Now the another problem that has come with is our foundations, yours, mine's, and our colleagues' foundation of self was created in a social media free environment. But from today, a person's self image is built on the abundance of likes,
Right.
dislikes, social media comments, and bullyings, isn't it?
And that is a part of a major problem.
That is a part of the major problem, because now the Gen Z thinks that they have an audience to whom they have to seek validation from,
Right.
right? It is a scary idea to even imagine that you are playing in a stadium where there is no audience. You understand?
Right.
So our play was for myself back at that time.
Right.
I used to play because I love it. I enjoy it. That is my calling. Now the person feels I want to play because I will get appreciation from outside. They may enjoy or they may not enjoy it.
Right.
Right? In the same way, the Gen Z has become a victim of hyper consumeristic market. They want to live up to the fads. They want to maintain a social, status,
Social image, status.
social
yes.
status, which makes them think that this is what is required for them to be successful. So kudos to the marketing teams of the entire products, because they make
Yes.
them feel it is not the want but it is the need.
Yeah.
So if all these things is ingrained into a Gen Z's mindset that this is the need for your survival, of course they will strive for it. Of course they will feel incomplete without it.
Right. And that's a very important point.
So needs and wants
Right.
has to be categorically clarified.
Definitely. I think doctor has said it very rightly that needs and wants need to be clarified to the Gen Z at a very young age,
Yes.
so that they can understand, and that is a part of parenting as well.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
the parents are the caregivers at the very early age, at the very early stage where a child is just coming
That
out of a
reminds me, Abhishek, recently a parent reached out to me and they said ki, and which I think most of the viewers can connect as well, that Doctor Sahab, मेरा बच्चा मुझसे झूठ बहुत बोलता है. That my child lies to me a lot. I said, why do you think your child lies a lot? So they say, oh, he must have learned it from social media. Whereas my answer was, see, child doesn't learn to say lies to the parents out of nowhere. He lies because when he told the truth and for the very first time, and he was honest for the first time, he was penalized for speaking the truth.
right.
Beta, glass gir gaya.
Hmm.
And father slapped the child that you can't take care, you have broken such a precious glass.
Hmm.
He was not appreciated that, oh, you took the ownership,
Right.
you took the responsibility. Right? So parenting words are very critical. I'll teach today our viewers a simple phenomena, how to hack into their brain.
Wow.
How to change their mindset and how to realize that their mindset was wrongly written at their childhood. So just you have to understand, for the our viewers should understand how does a brain develop. So our brain develops in this phenomena, right?
Okay.
You consider this thumb as your primal brain or the limbic system.
Okay.
Now this brain is very nascent. As the brain evolves, your grey matter, your other cognition, your personality takes shape into. But at a very nascent stage, whatever is given to you gets imprinted and becomes a referential repository of emotions or coping, whatever was given to you in the childhood. See,
Right.
you all can realize in whatever fields you are associated with, whenever you have a problem, you revert back to the classical textbooks, reference textbooks. You open the textbooks and see what is written in that.
Yeah.
In the same way, whenever there is a crisis, whenever you are stressed, your brain, your other mechanisms freeze and you resort back to your childhood brain.
Okay.
So whatever repository of emotion you had, you start retrieving and use the same coping mechanism.
Hmm.
So I come back to my first point, which I said, awareness. To awareness, to realize what is their default coping mechanism. And if they are able to identify that, they are able to change it.
Right.
Isn't it? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
That
sense.
our primal instincts or our coping mechanism or our emotional repository has to be changed from within, and that is how it will become a reflex memory. That will how it's become a muscle memory, and you are able to practice these things at an unconscious level instead of giving a more effort to do the same.
Right. Wow. So this was exactly what we wanted to know from you. Because doc, what happens is at the age of 18 to 20, a lot of people has some problems that they do not know about. Where the problem, where it came from, what was the root of it. This is exactly the thing that a parent should know when a child is growing at the age of 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the nascent brain that you talked about. It is what it is, and we should know, and we should develop it accordingly in our children.
Awareness is the key.
Awareness is the key. So doctor, I think there are some hormones that are related to mental health or brain. Some of them are dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline. When we talk about adrenaline, a lot of people say fight or flight is what adrenaline is all about. Dopamine gives us a happy feeling. There is oxytocin. I would want you to break down these hormones for us so that people can understand the importance of these chemicals, of these hormones in our body.
See, you have to understand, if somebody has diabetes, I have to give them insulin. Why I have to give them insulin? Because his body is not producing now insulin.
Yeah.
In the same way, our regulation of mood and our reward system is also regulated by different hormones. As like insulin regulates your sugar, these hormones regulate what you feel, how you feel, when you feel. Right.
Right.
And these help you to grow and have survival instincts. Right? For example, I want to ask you, what do you think is the most important emotion in this world?
I think happiness.
Yes, beautiful answer. Happiness is the most important emotion in this world, but unfortunately it's a wrong answer. The most important emotion in this world is of that of anxiety and anger. Because like Thanos, if I click a finger and I remove anxiety and anger from this world, the world economy will collapse. The jungles, the ecosystem will get destroyed. Why? Because nobody will follow rules. Nobody will be able to survive. You see a deer, with how much anxiety he drinks a water. If he removes, if he is not anxious, a crocodile will grab his neck and he will die. So anxiety
is important.
Is one of the most important survival mechanism.
Because this term, doctor, I would like to say that this term, anxiety, is something that a lot of Gen Z relate to and is relevant term. A lot of people come to that.
Yes. So anxiety is one of the most important emotion. Now, because of constant stress, please mind my word, constant stress, constant biochemical burden, constant gut microbiome access, means poor gut microbiome, poor lifestyle choices, right? Constantly inflamed body, pollution, right? Multiple preservative additives, all these things add burden to the inflammation of your body,
Hmm.
right? You don't want to exercise, you want to eat junk, you are not taking care of your body, you are not taking care of your thoughts. So all this culminates to evolve a inflammatory status of your body. Once these inflammatory status of your body increases, what does it do? It reduces your body's capacity to produce dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin and adrenaline. Or they make these hormones dysfunction. If they make these hormones dysfunction, what happens? Your frustration tolerance or your resilience reduces.
Right.
When your resilience reduces, any minor trigger appears to be a bigger problem than already it was. And this vicious circle starts. So biology gets altered, which alters your psychology, which alters your sociology.
Oh, the trifecta that you
That
talked about.
trifecta that I taught, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now it can be because of psychology that your biology is altered, because you eat a lot when you are stressed. That
So
is your psychology.
the trifecta is related to each other. Any one of them get affected.
Exactly,
they
one
all-
begets
they all
each other.
circle. Yeah.
One begets each other.
Yes.
See, this is a 200-gram problem. I keep holding this 200-gram problem. I'm holding it, holding it, holding it. What will it happen? It will start biochemical changes in my hand.
There'll
My
be
hand
stress,
will
I guess.
start paining.
Yes.
So my psychological stress that I was holding
Hmm.
now has converted into biological stress.
Right.
Now if this biological stress increases further, I may not be able to work. My boss will get angry.
Right.
My payment will not come.
Yeah.
So it has now converted into sociology.
So every point is connected
To
to
your
a
biology.
bigger point, to
Yes.
biology, to your mental health. So, doctor, I think now we should move on to a newer term, which is also very common nowadays. It is neuroplasticity. And for those who are new to this term, I would like you to please explain what is neuroplasticity and why is it becoming so relevant to the young people today?
See, it is relevant because it is people are more aware about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that neuroplasticity is a new thing. It goes age old. It is a very, very, very old concept that has been, and to promote neuroplasticity, our environment has been shaped since childhood, since ages, to promote neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? It is basically your ability to adapt, to learn new things, right? And to be more resilient, right? That is where neuroplasticity comes into. Why this has become more recent thing? Because of the attention economy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What in my personal experience I have understood that this attention economy definitely hampers your neuroplasticity, because now the neurons are constantly having reduced attention span. Not the neurons but us having the constantly reduced attention span. Earlier movies were 3.5 hours,
Yeah.
then it reduced to 40 minutes, 1.5 hour, then 40 minutes. Now you have at a hand, you have a 15-second reel which you do not finish and you swipe to a different dopamine hit,
Right.
right? So your attention span has constantly reduced. Now tell me, if you cannot have a attention span that long, will you be able to conceive a bigger idea? Will you be able to work on a consistently brewing a better idea or a work or that requires intense attention?
No.
Right? So
Right.
gradually what will happen? Your ability or your productivity will reduce and you will be dependent on other factors like AI, and your
Right.
creativity will be reduced. Add to that a tadka of the inflammation in your body, poor diet, poor exercise, sedentary lifestyle. Add to that tadka of the environmental factors like pollution,
Right.
cigarette,
Yeah.
right? And that entire becomes mixing, and it makes you, it brings more mental health problems, and at the core, at a molecular level, it is reflected in poor neuroplasticity.
And if we can talk about North Indian people, especially the pollution, if you do not smoke cigarette also, then you are smoking something from the air, PM 2.0, PM 2.5 and PM 2.10. And yes, obviously, doctor, as you said rightly, especially for the North Indian people living in Delhi area, the smoking, even if you are not a smoker, you are smoking constantly because of the air pollution in the air. So neuroplasticity is something you have to know about and deal about it daily, because that is something we have to learn so that we can grow from where we are right now.
You see, this is just a term to understand, but per se we cannot act on neuroplasticity directly. It is an entire milieu that you take care of, so your mental health already improves.
Right. So sir, I think last section of this interview should have some daily exercises or daily habits for people who are watching. I would want you to tell them or maybe explain some of the neuroplasticity exercises, or maybe from the perspective of neuroplasticity, what are some habits or daily habits that Gen Z can build so that they can have a good coping mechanism.
See, one thing I want to first give a message to the Gen Z or any viewer who is watching this show right now, that if this square is your life, work should be a smaller square of that life. Often we have seen that people have a square of work, and in that they make a small square of life. So work should be a subset of life. The first thing is, give yourself some time. I want to ask you, every one of you, think of 3 people you love the most. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3 people you love the most. Now tell me, how many of you thought first person was me, myself, as someone who loves themselves? So the first thing is loving yourself, and loving yourself comes with a self-discipline, and that discipline has to be inculcated in all the trifectas that I have told you. You have to be conscious of your biology, that is, you have to be conscious of what you eat, when you eat, and the quantity you eat, and the quality of food that you are putting into. Then comes psychology, that is what you think, what type of fodder for thought that you inculcate into, what kind of news you absorb, what kind of negativity do you take, and what are the mechanisms that you put as a rail guard, as a safeguard to protect the sanity of your mind. And then the third is your sociology, as in what kind of environment you live in, what kind of social circle you have, where to say no, where to remove people, where to make distance, where to draw strong boundaries, right? And if we cater to individually analyze what are my biological patterns, what are my psychological patterns, what are my sociological problems. I give this homework to everyone. You divide your life into these 3 aspects and see what patterns you have, analyze the pattern, and I am telling you, this 2026, give yourself a target to become a better version of yourself. Say your name and put a 2.0 in front of that name. Sankalp 2.0, Abhishek 2.0, Deepak 2.0. And I think that should be the goal. Awareness is the key.
Wow. That was a lesson for me as well, I think. Thank you so much, doctor, for coming and sharing these beautiful thoughts, because the positivity and the affirmations that we are going to give to ourselves is going to sculpt our soul, sculpt our mental frame what we have right now.
And with one message I want to give to our viewers, that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, it is rather the sign of courage, because you know that help can be taken, and it amounts to courage, never
Right.
to weakness.
Wow. Again, I think we all have one homework that doctor has given us, and it's an important one for your life, for your soul, for your mental well-being. So, 2026, make a newer version of you, a better version, so that you can, cope up with things, learn new things, and definitely, go for the bigger aim, bigger goal. This is all for today. Thank you so much, Doctor, again for coming to the show and giving us beautiful piece of advices. And for you guys, keep watching India TV English. Do share this video and also hit the subscribe button. Thank you.